Hi, everyone. After another busy week in Washington, I'd like to share an update on some of our work. This week, I joined my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to pass a bipartisan government funding bill that avoids a government shutdown right before the holiday season. Make no mistake, a shutdown would have been devastating for families and service members in California and across the country. I'm grateful we were able to avert this mess for the time being, but we're still not out of the woods. Speaker Johnson and extreme House Republicans are only extending this funding until the middle of January for some federal agencies and early February for others. House Democrats are ready to work with our colleagues across the aisle to fully fund the government, keep services operational, lower costs, protect our national security, and ensure our service members receive their paychecks. I'd also like to share some progress we've made on legislation supporting our veterans. I'm proud to announce my bipartisan Valor Act, which would make VA home loans more accessible for more disabled veterans, passed the House Veterans Affairs Subcommittee on Economic Opportunity this week. Where there's still work to be done on this bill, I'll continue to advocate for its passage, and I'll encourage my colleagues to do the same. I also have an exciting update on the status of the first bill I introduced this Congress, the Nursing Home Disclosure Act. My bill would require nursing homes to publicly disclose information on their medical director, who coordinates and oversees medical care for residents. This week, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services issued a final rule that does just that. For the first time, nursing homes are explicitly required to disclose who their medical director is in their annual reporting. This will help families make more informed decisions when searching for a nursing home for their loved ones. I thank CMS for this important effort, and I promise to continue to support families with elderly relatives. Finally, I'd like to share a significant step forward in judicial reform and transparency. Last week, I introduced an amendment with my colleague Congressman Hank Johnson to withhold funding from the Supreme Court until they adopted a code of ethics for justices. This week, the Supreme Court announced that justices adopted one. While it's a step in the right direction, I remain extremely concerned that their code of ethics has no means for enforcement. The American people deserve courts that hold themselves to high ethical standards, and that means actual accountability and enforcement, not just the appearance of it. I'll continue to call for a responsible Supreme Court. That's all for now. Have a great weekend, everyone.